Do 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 do. Shoo-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo. Got my spray bottle ready for you, cat. Keep up this nonsense. You gonna get it. And why you gonna get it? Because X gonna give it to you. Y'all. What up, y'all? Not a cheeky bastard. Fuck you. Y'all. What up, y'all? Yeah, glad you guys dug the show. That one was a big question mark for me because I didn't know much about Manson, and obviously TJ was lead research on this one, so a lot of that stuff I'd never heard about him. I have exactly zero interest in Marilyn Manson. I'll check it out. It's still interesting, man. It's still an interesting dude, even if you're not into his, not into his music. Still led a really interesting life so far. John X gonna give it to you. Do a fart. I'm not gonna do Ozzy. You do a fart. Come on, do a fart. I didn't know he was a prolific painter either. I'd never seen any. Actually, that's not true. TJ might have shown me one or two things Manson painted that he liked, but I had no idea he'd done so many. It's pretty cool. It's a lot of time investment there. You know what Manson's doing with his free time. This cat is going to be soaking wet before I'm done with it. His days of stalking my Dinor are over. Dinor, come on. Come here, bud. Come sit next to me. Come over here. Good boy. You sit down. You sit down. You be my co-host today. What do you think? What do you think, people? Dinor for co-host. Dinor for Highdeology co-host. You want to co-host with me, bud? You want to be the straight man, and you want to be the good cop, I'll be the bad cop, or how do you want to work it? How you want to work it? I'm your friend. I'm not going to let this kitty bully you no more. I'm going to spray him right in his fucking face every time he tries to pounce you. And he'll learn. I'll learn him. This ain't for you. You ain't got to be sad about this. It's for that fucking kitty. Yeah, I don't know that he has any Bichon in him. We were told Maltese, Shih Tzu, miniature poodle, or toy poodle. So, I don't know. I know for a fact there's Shih Tzu, but beyond that, who the fucking knows? TJ mentioned in an earlier stream that boomers are the worst gen. Do you share that opinion, and why? I think I agree with the statement. Talking about baby boomers? I mean, they're the me generation, right? Well, I know they've called generations that have come after them the me generation, but the baby boomers were really the first generation to break with their parents' kind of stoic tradition of family and start, branching out. So I don't know, man. I don't really buy into this best generation, worst generation bullshit. Like, I really don't know how to qualify that. Like, were there a lot of asshole baby boomers? Yes. Did the baby boomers cause a problem in society in terms of their, like, just over the top consumption? Yes, they did. Did the baby boomers, by and large, ignore their children's upbringing in favor of more selfish pursuits? Yes, they did. Does that make them the worst generation of all time? I don't know, man. The soy boy generation, huh? Man, you people with these little fucking buzzwords and stuff. Like, at some point, I hope that people that do nothing but run around and talk about soy boys and cucks and shit, like I hope you like get bored with that and decide to come up with some of your own arguments, or at least learn someone else's arguments and parrot them back. Because the way that these like little phrases catch on, you know, Paul Joseph Watson says soy boy, and now every fucking stupid piece of shit on the planet is saying it like it's always been a thing. I know you were. I was just there. They for every person out there that uses it mockingly, there are 14 that use it, you know, unironically. Soy boy. Woke, red pilled, all this stupid fucking lingo that catches on that, you know, people that don't even understand the principal thought behind the lingo just start parroting it, you know, to the point where it just becomes meaningless. Like cuckold is a pretty cool, you know, insult from the 14th century and before. You know, and now it's just lost all its meaning. Now it just means someone I disagree with, which is sad to me, you know. Actually, cuckoldry, I guess, wasn't necessarily an insult, although it was always frowned upon in society. Um, but yeah, you know, it's kind of lost its teeth as an insult now because it just means you're a dude that doesn't believe the same thing what I do. Cuck. It's like, okay, guess that word's over. You use autism and troll. Come on now. Well, I mean, right, sure, thing, but troll. I mean, that's actually a useful word. It describes an entire class of people on the internet. Like troll, you need that word to be a denizen of the internet. A netizen. You remember when they were trying to call that? You guys remember netizen? Yeah, troll is not the same thing. Now maybe I'm a little heavy on the tism jokes and shit. Granted, all right, you got me there, but no, troll doesn't stack up in the same way. Troll is an actually useful categorization. Yeah, there's no scientific basis for eating a lot of soy in your diet causing anything physiologically or otherwise. So it's just, you know, another way for somebody to look at you and just dismiss what you are, dismiss your argument out of hand by, you know, throwing out an ad hominem. The chat with Paul is always a gamble. It depends on whether or not he's looking at the chat. Yeah, I was looking at the chat when you posted that. See? Yeah, I'm sure there's like a little mini game amongst people that watch these, you know, trying to wait to enter their question when they see me looking at the screen. I don't try and make it like that. It's just the nature of these is I have to have an editorial process. If I just read every one of these fucking comments, then not only will I never say anything else, but a lot of it will be way worse than it already is. I mean, this show is already known for its peaks and valleys. Talk about some extra valleys, you know, take away my ability to read the comments that I think are interesting. Yeah, I might do that from time to time. I gauge your face and hear what you have to say, and as soon as it's done, I send. Like right now, you got it. See, you got me. See, low energy videos has got the mini game figured out. It ain't easy because sometimes when I'm looking at the screen, I'm not actually looking at the chat. Sometimes I'm looking into the middle distance behind me just so I can frame myself properly and shit. Hey, Paul, play Fortnite or you're a cuck. Okay, I guess I'm a cuck. What's worse, juggalos or believers? Why do I have to? Why can't I hate both of them equally? I'd say believers probably though. Honestly, I'd rather chill with a juggalo because juggalos have weed and stuff. I mean, I'm sure your friends would probably be offended at your pity, honestly. The autistic people that I've known are not people that use it as an excuse. And, this idea that you can't be an asshole if you're autistic is just fucking retarded. Everybody's got, cognitive differences. And the ball is in your court if you're an autistic person or a brash person like me. I'm not saying like being brash is a mental problem on the level of autism, but you get my drift. You have to adapt to that. Your mental health is never an excuse for your bad behavior. And if it is, it better be couched in the way of like, I'm learning from this, not like in an accusatory way where like, oh, I can't understand this because I'm autistic, or I'm not responsible for being an asshole at that party because I'm autistic. No, no. Like, if you're a high functioning autistic person who's out there in society, you have just as much culpability as I do to fucking police your behavior. That's all there is to it. So, I think it does autistic people a bigger disservice to treat them like they're not, like you, with kid gloves, like you can't insult them, than it does for me to treat them like I treat everybody else. I know if I was profoundly autistic, I'd want to be treated like everybody else to the greatest extent of people's ability to do that. I work with an autistic kid, and he's purposely annoying and lazy at work. He insults other people all the time, and he's way too touchy even when told not to. See, like, I don't believe that that dude has any less culpability than I do to uh, relegate his regulate his behavior in public. My friend has Asperger's. He's just really weird. Yeah, dude, I got no problem with eccentricity. I mean, autism spectrum disorder probably went undiagnosed for. I mean, not probably went undiagnosed until it was, uh, you know, discovered as an actual disorder. Before that, people with Asperger's or autism were just considered to be eccentrics. As an autistic, I think it's fine to use tism and the like, but ultimately it doesn't matter. Yeah, I mean, look, tism and making fun of autistic people might be, this generation's retard. You know, like in fact, I know that's what it is. We've always insulted one another based on intellect. Even before the word retard existed, we had ways, dimwit, numbskull, empty head, blithering moron, fool, All of these words are rooted in that same desire to present yourself as intellectually superior to another person via an ad hominem argument. So people are, yeah, stupid, dumb. All of these things are placeholders for the same idea. I'm smarter than the person that I'm referring to as this. Now, when you talk about the word retard, I can see why people don't like it. Because retarded people don't choose to be retarded, and also shouldn't be held to the same standards intellectually as a person who isn't mentally retarded. And so, making retarded people the blanket way to call other people stupid, I can understand why people take issue with that. I just don't happen to think it's wrong. And I think that, we've been slowly but surely trained out of the word retard by, just social pressure. And people want to fill it with something else. So, autistic is now the go to word. Special, yeah. Even when they try and come up with a word that's nice to retarded people. Special was one that they pushed a lot in my childhood. This person is not a retard. They're not retarded. They're special. They're in special education. They do this in an attempt to give dignity back to people that have these mental retardations and not make them the butt of all these jokes. But in doing that, they just make them the butt of a new joke. So now special education, you insult people with that the same way you would say retard. Well, what are you in special ed? Huh? You ride the short bus? You know, it's like we're trying to rein in this thing about humanity that we're not going to rein in. Like, there's never going to be a time where human beings are cordial to one another in the way that maybe they should be. I mean, I don't like the word should. It's just not going to happen. Trying to train people to be more polite doesn't work. You take a word like nigger, right, which has been pushed to the absolute bottom rung of society. Nobody uses it unless it's rhetorically, like I just did. And you'd think, well, that's a victory. That's an example of society training people to not use that word. The people that want to use that word still use it. They just do it under their breath. They do it by looking over each shoulder before they say it to their friends. They do it in the privacy of their own homes, and they still feel that way. Nothing changed. The sentiment didn't change. It just got pushed underground. And I don't think that that's a good way to deal with things. Retard is another case in point. Retard became special ed, became special, became short bus, became now autistic, now autism. You know what I mean? It either evolves or it just gets repressed. I'd rather people just say whatever the fuck they wanted. You find it offensive, that's your fucking right to find it offensive. And you can confront that person about finding it offensive and hash it out with them. You don't get to punch them. You don't get to act like that word is some kind of a trigger in you that sets off a violent streak or some shit. That's just horse shit. It's a word. Nigger is a word. It's a word with a whole lot of terrible history and context. But that is not good enough reason to ban its use. You don't ban a fucking word. Period. How and when would you use it? I used it about 3 times in the last 5 minutes rhetorically because I'm talking about the word. And I'm not one of those people. I think it's stupid to tiptoe around it and say, the N-word. Fuck that. We're all adults here. We've all heard the word before. You guys know I'm not going, nigger, nigger, this, nigger. I'm not pointing the finger. We're talking about the word. That whole inward shit just lends credence to this idea that we should just push this word down and act like it doesn't exist. Bullshit. Bullshit. When I use that word, I'm using it in one of 3 different ways. I'm either using it as a rhetorical device like I'm doing now, and we're talking about the word or using it in context. I'm making a joke, or I'm reciting song lyrics or some other medium that was written with that word in it. I'm not going to read, for example, Huckleberry Finn and censor myself every time Huck calls Jim Nigger Jim. Or Nigger Jim calls Nigger Jim Nigger Jim. I'm not going to say N-word Jim. I'm not going to do it. It's written in the book. It's part of the book. It's part of the culture of the times. And I'm going to read it the way it was written. I'm going to listen to rap songs that use it. And if I learn those rap songs and I enjoy them, I might say those lyrics out loud. See, I refuse to that shit. I refuse to kowtow to that shit. I just don't. I don't do it. What do you mean you're not a mod here, J Dark? What do you mean you're not a mod here, J Dark? just admit you went a little too far with what? Fill me in, bro. When did I go a little too far? Yeah, the Kendrick Lamar incident. He writes a song with the word nigger in it. He invites a white girl up on stage to sing along with the song. She says the word nigga, and he boos her off the stage and makes fun of her and fucking humiliates her in front of the crowd, and the crowd boos her. And just such a ridiculous. Like what? If you don't want a white person like saying that shit, then don't invite them up on stage with you to say it in the mic. What was she supposed to do? I'm just up with my finger on the trigger. Like, what's she supposed to do? I'm just a boop with my finger on the trigger. Like, what? You handed her the mic. What's she supposed to do? I'm just an N-word with my finger on the trigger. Well, she did apologize. I wouldn't have. Apologize for what? For Kendrick Lamar writing the word nigga into his lyrics? Why should she apologize for that? For coming up on stage when she was invited by Kendrick Lamar to sing a song? Why would she apologize for that? What did she do? It would be one thing if she went up on the stage and went on a racist tirade and was like, I hate niggers and I hate this nigger, that nigger, that nigger, nigger, nigger. She went up on stage and sang one of his songs as it was written. She was young and was boo. Yeah, I mean, yeah, she was obviously pressured into apologizing, but I wouldn't have. I've been like, fuck all of you hypocritical pieces of shit out there booing. I see white people out there in the audience. You telling me you self-censor when you're singing along out there? Fuck all of you hypocrites. Boo this. I mean, yeah, he might have just wanted to make that type of thing happen. I mean, I wouldn't put it past like an entertainer to fucking drum up a bunch of controversy to get his name out there in the fucking media and shit. My rationalizations. Okay, man, that's such a great argument, dude. 2 words, all caps. Your rationalizations. What about my rationalizations? You got a problem with what I'm talking about here? You got a counter argument? Or are you just gonna fucking hammer on your caps lock key? I mean, come on, bro. I'm willing to fucking engage you in a conversation about the use of this word, if that's what you want to do. Ball's in your court. You've heard what I've had to say about it. You got anything to say on the contrary? You let a few N-words slip and now you're rationalizing it? What? I don't let words slip. The words that come out of my mouth come out of my mouth when I want them to come out of my mouth, and I justify their use with the concept of freedom of speech. I choose the context in which I use words, and I don't have to rationalize the use of a word to anybody. Anything else? You justify their usage. Yes, I do. I justify the usage of every word. I don't think any word should be put on a dusty, evil shelf and called the evil word that you never speak. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in assigning like these kind of taboos to words. Sorry. Context matters to me. Got anything else? What if that word summoned an interdimensional beast? Well, then we'd be having a different conversation, wouldn't we? But the last time I checked, the invocation of those specific mouth sounds in a row do not cause a portal to fucking hell to open up. Beelzebub doesn't crawl out with his fucking 18 tentacle penises to rape the world. Nothing happens. Beelzebub is coming with his 18 tentacle penises to rape the world. 18 tentacle penises. 18 tentacle penises. Whoa, my camera froze.